What if the magical storm raging inside you isn't a defect to be suppressed, but the very key to unlocking bonds that defy every rule the Academy was built to enforce? In Mage Storm, Lyra Mission returns to the world of fractured magic with a why-choose paranormal romance that transforms elemental chaos into emotional catharsis, proving that true power isn't found in control. It's forged in the terrifying surrender of letting others weather your tempest alongside you. This isn't merely a sequel or another Academy trope. It's a lush, high-stakes continuation where magic mirrors trauma, intimacy requires vulnerability, and love becomes the anchor in a world designed to tear you apart. From the first crackling narration, listeners are plunged back into Arcanum Academy's shadowed halls, where every spellcast feels like a confession, and every shared silence hums with unspoken devotion. Perfect for fans of emotionally complex romantasy and polyamorous dynamics rooted in mutual growth, this audiobook serves up relentless magical tension, richly layered character arcs, and a heroine whose journey from outcast to epicenter redefines what it means to belong. When Alara Vance's latent storm magic erupts during a suppression ritual, she expects expulsion, not to be declared the storm vessel, bound to 3 elite heirs whose own powers have been warped by the same systemic failures that tried to erase her. Kaelin, whose ice magic freezes emotion to survive inherited guilt, Ronan, whose fire burns brightest when protecting those he's failed, and Silas, whose earth magic grounds others, while his own roots remain untethered. Each represents a facet of balance Alara must integrate without losing herself. But as their bond deepens through forced proximity and escalating magical instability, Alara realizes the storm isn't destroying them, it's revealing the cracks where healing can enter. Mission masterfully avoids reducing the RH dynamic to wish fulfillment or magical fix. Instead, she crafts relationships where consent is negotiated amid chaos, and intimacy emerges from honoring difference rather than demanding conformity. The audiobook narration amplifies this emotional precision, capturing Alara's evolving voice, from fractured uncertainty to fierce clarity, and each male leads distinct cadence with vocal textures that make every charged silence feel sacred and every moment of connection feel hard-won. You don't just hear the bond form, you feel the seismic shift of 4 souls learning to trust without surrendering sovereignty. What elevates Mage Storm beyond typical why choose fare is its unflinching examination of magical institutions as systems of gendered and class-based control. Arcanum Academy isn't merely a school, it's an engine of patriarchal preservation that uses prophecy to justify coercion. Alara's awakening isn't about mastering spells, it's about recognizing how her magic has been weaponized against her own autonomy. Her relationships evolve for acts of radical reciprocity, Kaelin learning to lead without dominating, Ronan channeling rage into protection without possession, Silas using knowledge to empower rather than manipulate. Supporting characters add vital texture, fellow students navigating their own subjugation, faculty whose mentorship masks complicity, even the Academy's architecture, rendered as both sanctuary and prison, whose walls absorb centuries of silenced voices. Every interaction reinforces the novel's core truth. True union requires equality, and equality cannot exist where power is inherited rather than earned. Even the magic system serves thematic depth, with storm surges mirroring emotional breakthroughs, and elemental balance reflects conscious choice over biological imperative. For audiobook listeners, this production is an immersive sensory ritual. The narrator embodies Alara and her 3 counterparts with remarkable distinction. Alara's voice carries steel wrapped in dawning self-trust. Kaelin's resonant timbre trembles with restrained devotion beneath authority. Ronan's rough cadence softens with unexpected tenderness, and Silas, whose measured tones reveal depths of feeling beneath intellectual reserve, making their dynamic palpable even in conflict. Sound design enhances atmosphere without overwhelming intimacy. Distant thunder marking celestial alignments, the hushed rustle of ancient tomes during vulnerable confessions, the crackle of elemental magic during moments of emotional breakthrough, all anchor mythic stakes in tangible reality. Pacing mirrors the rhythm of awakening, deliberate during moments of introspection and bond negotiation, then surging with urgency as Alara's agency ignites external change. Whether you're navigating daily routines or drifting into dreams, the audiobook creates a transportive soundscape that makes magic feel dangerously intimate. It's storytelling as embodied invocation, transforming passive listening into active participation in a love story that defies cosmic design. Ultimately, Mage Storm redefines why choose paranormal romance by centering female autonomy within hierarchical frameworks. It satisfies genre cravings for fated mates and supernatural stakes, while delivering substantive commentary on bodily sovereignty, institutional trauma, and the courage required to redefine sacredness on human terms. Prior knowledge of fractured bonds enriches the experience, but the emotional arc stands powerfully on its own for returning readers. If you've ever wondered whether love can exist across impossible divides, or if devotion requires surrendering your soul, this audiobook will affirm that true worship begins with honoring the self. Press play, step into the Academy's shadowed halls, and prepare to believe that sometimes the most divine act is claiming your own humanity. Your next favorite romantasy isn't waiting in obedient praise, it's waiting in the brave, trembling choice to awaken on your own terms.